Okay, the first thing to do is to open our VMware Workstation, and we will create a new virtual machine. We will specify the ISO image to use to install our ESXi. In our case here, we will install the version 6.7. Open and next. After that, we will specify the name of our virtual machine. We can put any name. And we will put the size of the disk, which will be associated to our VM. We can, of course, customize our VM. We can specify the memory, the number of processor to use. Okay, we finish. Now we have created our virtual machine and we will now install our ESXi. The first thing, our virtual machine will boot on the ISO file, which we have attached to our CD-ROM. Here we can see that we have associated 2 cores and 4 GB memory to our virtual machine. And you can see the version of our VMware ESXi, which is 6.7.0. And also the build number, which is associated to this version. We'll click on Enter to continue our installation. As you can see, of course, this message consult the VMware compatibility guide at this link to see if the version of the ESXi is compatible with our hardware. Okay? Fine. Now we will click on F11 to accept the end user license agreement. And we will continue our installation. And we will choose the language of our system. After that, we will specify the root password of our system. We can put any password. Of course, the password must be at least 7 characters. And now we will move to the next step. Of course, here we will confirm the installation on clicking on F11. And finally, the system is installing our ESXi 6.7.0. It will take some time to finish the installation. After that, we will be able to access to the web browser and the web interface of our VMware ESXi. The installation is finished. The first step to do is to remove the installation media before rebooting. This step is only to be sure that our system after the rebooting will boot on the installation and not on the ISO file. Okay, we will remove our ISO file from the CD-ROM. And after that, we will click on Enter to reboot our system. And now the server will shut down and reboot. And the process will take a short time to complete the installation and the configuration. And here we are. The system now is loading all the services. It will take some time. By the way, don't forget that these steps are the same if you are using a physical server or if you are using a virtual machine to install your ESXi. Okay. And don't forget that in our case here, in this example, we are using VMware Workstation on my laptop to install the VMware ESXi. And as you can see, this message, to manage this host, go to this link with this IP address. Okay, let's now go to use our web browser and to open this link using the IP address which was associated to our ESXi. Don't forget that we are using DHCP to affect IP addresses. Okay, of course you can do it manually. You can specify a static IP for your system. Okay, let's bypass the security step here. My antivirus was blocking the IP address. It's not a problem. And now we have our web UI, web user interface of our VMware ESXi. We will specify the login and password of to access our system. Our login is root, and we will specify the password that we have configured. And here we are. This is the web UI of our VMware ESXi 6.7. As you can see, all the information of our ESXi are here. The first thing to do is to upload an ISO file. In our case, we will upload the ISO to install Ubuntu. This is only to show you how to create a virtual machine under our VMware ESXi. And in our case, we will create a virtual machine which will run Ubuntu 18.04. As you can see, the ISO is uploaded. And now let's go to the virtual machine, create a new virtual machine. Next, we will specify the name of our virtual machine, Ubuntu Server 18.04. And we will choose the guest OS family, which is Ubuntu 64-bit. And we will click Next. As you can see, we have only one data store. After that, we'll click Next, and we will specify all the information linked to our VM. The first thing to do is to attach our ISO file, which will be used to install our Ubuntu. You can also specify the number of CPU and the memory to be used for your VM. And after that, we will click Next. All the information which are linked to our new VM are here. And finally, Finish. As you can see, our VM now is created. And the only thing to, still one thing, is to install our OS, our operating system, our Ubuntu. Okay. For that, we'll open Ubuntu. We will open our VM console, and we will boot via the ISO file. Okay, our system is booting. It will take some time. And here we are, our Ubuntu 18.04. The first thing to do here is to choose the language of our OS. Of course, this is a Ubuntu installation. We will let all things by default. This is only to show you an example of virtual machine creation under our new ESXi. Okay. That's why we will bypass all the configuration. And here we are. We will use an entire disk, and finally we will click on Done. Here is the partitioning of our system, and we will continue. Here we will specify the name and username and the password of our Ubuntu system. Okay. Okay. Here we will, in our case, install OpenSSH server. Done. We will not install any other services. That's why we'll go directly to click on Done. And here we are. Our Ubuntu is installing all the services. Of course, the installation will take some time, and after that the system will reboot. Like usual, the first thing to do is to remove the installation media to be sure that our virtual machine after that will boot on the disk and not on the ISO file. Now we will reboot our virtual machine. Our system now is booting, and here we are. This is our virtual machine. We can access it via the login and password we have created during the installation. Login, password, and we will access our Ubuntu system. And here we are. This is our virtual machine ready, and it is installed via the new ESXi 6.7 we have installed. Okay. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Tap the bell to get notifications about our new videos. Like and share the video, and write us your feedbacks and comments. And if you want to learn more, it's very simple. Watch more videos on your channel, IT for All. And if you really enjoy my content, you are welcome to support me and my channel with a small donation via PayPal. You will find the donation link in the description. See you in the next video.